Quantanium is the most valuable but also the most difficult mineral to mine in Star System, but I will show you how to easily make big money mining quantanium. But first, where do we find quantanium? You'll find quantanium in these asteroid fields, in the Air and Halo asteroid belt, and the asteroid ring around Yellow. And you can find quantanium on moons and planets. And the only mining laser you should use to mine quantanium is the Lancet mining laser. Despite being the weakest laser in the game, these stat changes shown here make mining quantanium surprisingly easy. In fact, the Lancet laser is really all you need to mine quantanium. When going out to mine asteroids, you should look for Q-type asteroid, and on planets, look for quantanium deposits. Both of these can contain anywhere from 2 to 50% quantanium. My rule of thumb is to go for rocks that have at least 20% quantanium, which is about 1 in 5 rocks that you'll encounter. A 20% quantanium asteroid will guarantee you about 150,000 AUR, after refining of course. If you're mining on planets, you should pay attention to the mass of the deposit. Asteroids have a very narrow range of mass. Deposits have a wider range of mass on planets. A 2500 deposit containing 40% quantanium will have the same amount of quantanium as a 5000 rock with 20%. Once you've fractured the rock and the fragments and start extracting, a timer will start and you'll have limited time to bring your ship to a refinery. You can extend the timer by collecting more quantanium, but eventually you'll have to leave, or else the quantanium will blow up. Once you've finished harvesting quantanium, it's time to head to a refinery. There are 5 refineries in Star System, each with its own bonuses and penalties to mineral yields. These are the bonuses and penalties for quantanium. Crew L1 is the best, and her L1 should be avoided. Once your ship is stored at a space station, the quantanium won't blow up, so it's time to refine it. There are 9 refinery processes you can choose from, but only 3 of them will give you the highest yield. Unless there's a major patch coming up, I would recommend you use Dinnick solventation, as it's the most profitable. Once the refinery is done, you can load it into a cargo ship and sell it. The Drake Cullis is not a bad choice. It's more than enough space for prospector loads, and you can rent it straight from the refinery. The Freelancer is a great choice. You'll sell more in less time with the increased cargo space. I would only recommend the Constellation Andromeda if you're trying to sell over 300 SCUs of refined quantanium. You can only sell quantanium in these 3 places. Interesting though, even though Crew L1 seems like a no-brainer for mining and refining, it's actually the worst for refinery for selling quantanium. That can eat into your profitability, but the extra yield might be worth it. If you brought 32 cargo units of raw ore to Crew L1, you will yield an extra 0.95 cargo units of refined quantanium, giving you over 8,000 AUX per load. Earlier I mentioned that you don't need modules for your laser, but if you're not afraid of spending some money, here's what I recommend. The Surge module will instantly boost your charge by 40%, saving you a lot of time on the initial fracture. Just be careful not to overcharge, as it will overcharge twice as fast for 30 seconds and explode more violently. In fact, you shouldn't fracture with any overcharge or you'll risk losing some of the minerals. The VOE C3 module is good for reducing instability when fracturing, and the 4% debuff to the green zone is barely noticeable. And I highly recommend using a Filter XL module, especially if you're using a prospector. Anything that allows you to collect more minerals and less inert materials is great for profitability. And because these benefits stack, if you equip 3 Filter XL modules and 1 laser, you will reduce the amount of inert materials you collect by almost half. If you're mining on planets, I highly recommend you use a Surge and Stampede module. Half of the rocks on moons and planets are too heavy to fracture with the Lancet. If you get a charge in with the Surge, the laser is not strong enough to hold it, so you need a Stampede module to fracture it quickly. But this will add instability and overcharge much faster. So if you're new to mining, I suggest you mine asteroids first. These are some of the modules I recommend for mining quantanium. If you have any that you like using, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to know more about mining, I recommend visiting these websites here, links in the description. They have a lot of in-depth information on mining, refining, profitability, and more. If you enjoyed or found this video helpful, smash that like button, subscribe, ring the bell, and check out the Star System video here.